Alrighty, internet marketing secrets. Now I've passed out handouts, so they are no longer secrets. We'll keep this amongst our little group. Who here does internet marketing? What is internet marketing? The heck is that? What is it? Job posting, that's internet marketing. Social networking, internet marketing. Website, emails. Anything, I guess, marketing. RSS feeds, good. Good, we'll talk about that. Here's what I love this topic. Because A, I haven't seen it trained anywhere before. It is something that I take a great interest in. It's something that I use personally. It's something that I studied to help get my business off the ground as quickly as I possibly can. And frankly, there is a dire need for recruiters and recruiting firms to adopt internet practices that are really best practices. For those of you who have signed up, and now everyone has signed up for my free training, or you have to click on your confirm link when you signed up for the boot camp, but I talk a lot about technology in our space and how we are always just seem so many years behind the rest of the world when it comes to technology. I'm not saying we're in the dark ages. I mean, our industry has come up with great things, and there is a very big utilization of LinkedIn. Not enough, but still big. There's great applicant tracking systems. There's great databases. There's great software services that people subscribe to. So it's wonderful, but we're still years behind what everyone else does. So I want to share with you what everyone else does and what we need to do. Now, when I talk about internet marketing, I'm talking about a strategy, and that's the key. Don't be overwhelmed by the term strategy, but you need to have a plan for everything that you do. And the main concept that we're going to get into here is that anything that you do on the internet needs to be cohesive. It needs to tie together. There needs to be a plan for it. It all has to work together. All right, so we're going to talk about the need to integrate your social networking. We're going to talk about why it doesn't work the way we're doing it now, why websites are very outdated, and what you can do to change it. And I'm addressing owners, managers, and recruiters. And so don't tune this out for the majority of you who run your desk. This is something you can do, whether you work for the world's largest staffing firm, or you work for a small regional, or you work for a one-person owner. It doesn't matter. These are things you could set up independent of what the company's doing. And it's all about branding. It's about getting your name out there. It's about doing things a lot easier using the web. It doesn't replace picking up the phone and making a call. It's not supposed to. It's meant to enhance it dramatically. It's meant to be able to utilize to help you provide ongoing reasons to contact people, to create value. It's meant to do all of these things. It's meant for you not to be a stranger and to warm up a lot of your calls that you're going to make. It's meant to help you create credibility and expertise using this wonderful medium that's out there. So in our business, recruiting firms have just really scratched the surface, all right? And that's what we're going to get into. And that's what really all of this talks about. At the key cornerstone of what we're going to get into is this concept of opt-in marketing lists. Anyone know what an opt-in list is? Sign up. Who here uses them in their business? True opt-in lists. So they opt in to get what from you?
To be able to get access to specific job orders or who our clients.
All right, so it's your candidates to sign up for it.
And it can be hiring.
So is that a password to access your database, or is it an opt-in mailing list?
It's an opt-in for candidates for resumes and also to search on the
Okay, clients are in an opt-in or anything?
Clients can opt in as well.
Okay. Anyone else work with opt-in lists?
They would do like a sign for like industry white pages.
Yes, you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he said people will sign up for industry white pages. Okay, opt-in list is another major concept we're going to talk about that everyone here, desk or owner, needs to implement and start your strategy on Monday, period, bar none. If you want to get your name out there, do it right. If you want to maximize Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, your websites, anything that you do on the web, your emails, you name it. Okay? You need to have this. It's at the cornerstone, and it's the very basics of internet marketing. Okay? So, look, let's look at how most websites were built. Okay? Again, don't tune out if you just run a desk, because I want you to think about this. Most websites were built years ago, first by the really big companies, and then they were still expensive to do. All right? So they were all based upon traffic. It was a model of driving traffic. And all the analytics and report were based on that. You want to have a great flashy website so that, when people want to find out who you are, they'll look you up, they'll say, wow, this is great, it's branding, it gives you an image about who you are, and all those things which are still important. But it's about driving traffic there, putting good content on your website, salary guides, how-to, white papers, you name it. Maybe a portal for candidates to see jobs or for clients. Driving traffic. Some people would advertise. You didn't see that a lot in our business, but people would want to get people to come to their website to learn about why you're the experts and to give you credibility. Okay, but what people started to learn was that, well, wow, my competitor down the road got a website. Hey, the other one got a website. Hey, this kid in his closet built a website. Hey, everyone can build a website now for $8. $8. And you can do it cheaper if you want one for $1.99. We can set you up with that too. Anyone could build a website. They could build it in a minute, and there's now just millions and millions of websites. So who here is getting great traffic on their website? Great traffic on your website? Okay. Most don't. Okay, it's not, and if you do, how much of it is repeat traffic? How much of it is new traffic? The concept in the past for selling anything, and I'm going to talk to you about what the rest of the world is doing, and then we can apply it to the recruiting and to the staffing world. But what the rest of the world, did was, hey, we try to drive traffic and we try to pitch them a product or service, and hopefully people are going to buy something. Well, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, was the real revolution of internet marketing as we know it today. And it's always evolving, and they're always pitching new ideas and the latest and greatest concept, and it will continue to evolve. But some geniuses said, no, wait a minute. We're spending all this time and money to tell people about our website, and some people will check it out. But here's what we noticed. They'll check our website out once. And now that there's so many that are similar, people aren't going to keep coming back unless you force them to, with passwords and logons or what have you. But they're not going to come back. So we're going to spend this time and money going to trade shows, sending out a marketing material that has it on there, and at best, they might check it out once. If you've got super content on there and you constantly refresh it and update it, some people will want to come back and will task it on a somewhat decent basis, perhaps, to see what new stuff you have on there. Or they'll set up an RSS feed if you got really good stuff and you set up the feed. Right? Blogs and all that sort of fun stuff. So what do you do with all that time and money spent? And is a website, should it just be branding? Should it just be showing your image and a place to refer people for testimonials and what have you? And the answer is no. It shouldn't be that. What we need to do is realize, and the facts are the facts, that people that we attract, now again, individuals, think of anyone that you get your name out there and your email address, and you're going to create your own website anyway. All right, these people are going to come once, and the odds are great that they will never come back. So instead of spending this money to hope that they buy something, people aren't buying. There's so much competition. I know the recruiting business doesn't sell on the web per se, so bear with me on that one. But let's do this. Let's capture the people the first time they come. Anytime we deal with these people. Now, in any medium over the web, social networks, any of them, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, any sites that you belong to, let's aim at getting them to look once, because we know that's what's going to happen anyway. And let's drive the amount of people that are going to do it by giving them a compelling reason to come and look that one time. Not just because they want to check out a firm that's in the area or because they read an article and had your website there. Let's give them a reason to come. So let's drive traffic. We'll even spend money on traffic through AdWords or through marketing materials that you send out or whatever. But let's drive traffic to the site once, and let's capture these people. Let's get their name and their email address that one time, by giving them a compelling reason to want to give that to us, and in exchange for a great white paper, a great report, great 8-week free training, great whatever it is that you do. And we'll capture it. We'll get a large number of people who come that will be willing to do it. And then instead of them coming back to us regularly, which we know statistically they will not, we'll bring the material to them via the wonders of email and what have you. We'll get into the stuff of a lot of emails don't get open and what good rates are and all that sort of stuff, but it's better than having someone come once, look at it, you don't get a sale or a job order, maybe you get a candidate who registers, and they go away, and so many people look and you never know who they are, and they're gone forever. And the concept was simple, really, but it was pure genius. This is why years ago you started seeing all these great free things you can get on the web. Remember when you first started noticing, like, well, why are they giving this to me? How are they making money? What's the catch? But now you see them everywhere, don't you? Right? Everyone's saying you go to a place, it's great. You want your free book on this, you want a free CD, you want a free audio series, you want a free seminar. Sign up. It's yours. Just give me your email address and your name. Okay? And by the way, confirm it so we know it's yours, so we know how to reach you. You can opt out anytime you want. But give us your name. Give us your email address. No, look, I do this. So, and I don't suspect you're going to unsubscribe afterwards when I explain how it all works. It's okay. Yes, I do it to build a brand, to help me market, to help me network, and the same way that you need to be doing it. I am shocked at how prevalent this is in the rest of the world that uses the internet as any form of marketing, and how I really have not had one case study that I could find anywhere of any client that could say, and Steve's about the closest that I've heard right now, that's, yeah, all right, you got one, sure, what do you got, free white paper? Yeah, actually, that's it. That really, does it as a lead capturing tool. Now, this opt-in concept has been around for years. It's brilliant, it's easy, and it's gone to the point where, yes, you want a website that looks good, but you really need a great landing page. In our business, you'll need two, a candidate and a client landing page. Maybe 4, a great candidate that works for you in a prospect candidate page and a great client that works within a client prospect page. But you'll need a landing page. And all the other stuff, yeah, do you want to put your bio up there? Yeah, I do. I got my testimonials, I got my bio, I got products. But no one's going on there just to buy a product. Every once in a while I do. I'm not selling the stuff that way. So the concept of my website, the concept of internet marketing is to drive traffic to you any which way and every which way you deal on the web. So anything you do is with the mindset of I'm casting out this big net, on the web, on the internet. I'm casting out this big net and I'm trying to pull in as many people as I can. And the concept is so simple and brilliant. And again, millions of companies and people have adopted this, but not our industry, really. So you got to start doing it, and you got to do it now. This means, again, if you're a recruiter and you work at a big company, your website can just be your bio page that you have. And hey, by the way, thanks for registering with my large company. Here's a little bit about me. On there, it could be a pop-up or whatever. Hey, sign up now. Please give me your name and email address. You can unsubscribe at any time, and I'm going to give you 30 of the best interviewing tips for success that you've seen. You all have that stuff. You can get it. You can even take what your company has. They won't mind you doing it. Whatever. For a client, best tips to screen out the wrong people in a slow market. Whatever. The stuff that your companies have on the website now anyway. The great white papers. The free reports, which is just a big classic. Any of this stuff. You want it to be good enough and compelling enough where people will want to sign up and they'll want to take it.
You don't pay for pages on the web to get information.
No, I do, but you don't need to do pay-per-click ads. I don't do much of it. We'll talk about paying if you want to do it. Once you establish your opt-in list and you can decide a relative rate of where they convert to candidates or clients, you can put a value on every single person who registers. I now am doing it for less than a year. I have a rough idea of what it's worth. I mean, $3 per click, and then 1 out of every 3 people will sign up. If I go through Google, it's $10. I make more than $10 an average, per person that I have. So it's worth it for me to pay for it. You were going to say something?
Question. You drew a distinction between a landing page for a candidate and for a client.
Yeah.
Why would you do that rather than have one landing page that then gives the lander a choice of what content to view?
Why would I have 2 separate landing pages as opposed to one and give the client or the candidate a choice of what they want to be? You can do that and then have them go to 2 separate landing pages. But what we're going to talk about is your job is different than mine, and I reach really one audience. Yes, it could be owners, it could be recruiters, or temp or perm. But and especially when we get into LinkedIn and we talk about this, you all have to reach candidates, you have to reach clients, so you have to have your recruiting hat, you have to have your marketing hat on, you have to have your expertise hat where you're going to get information. And so they're going to each have different reasons. A client, potential client, what you're going to communicate to them and what value you're going to give to them is going to be very different from someone looking for a job. Think about what that white paper will look like for a candidate versus for a client. So that great thing, you might have one that appeals to both, but you're going to want to separate out your message anyway, and we're going to get into that a lot more, Adam, for sure. So what we'll get into here is once you capture this information, you then use it to create sequential mailing campaigns and broadcast or blast messages that are very specifically geared and tailored to the audience. What the concept of internet marketing says, and I think you'll get the idea of casting a big web, giving people a great reason to want to click on this. Take them a second. Hey, this sounds good. Even if it stinks, it's free. I can unsubscribe at any time, but it won't stink. And you're going to provide great value to the people that click on it. Great value. The people who sign up for my free training, I think, are all in shock when they find out there's 12-page books that they get. There's 20-minute videos. It's real content. It's real. It's good. It's free. Sign up. Please spread the word. What's the catch? The catch is I do want you to become clients, and some of you are, and some of you will, and some won't. But it's value. All right, so we're going to talk about how you do that, how the rest of the world does it, and how you can implement this strategy for your desk. All right, so if you look at traditional lead theory, you've got this huge funnel. We've all seen funnel theory. I don't like the funnel theory for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to explain that in niche marketing very much. But here, when we look at the web itself, it's not just website visitors. It's anyone who looks at your LinkedIn profile. It's anyone who looks at an article that you wrote there, anything that they look at, anything, any tweets that you tweeted, right? Any post that you put on Facebook, anything you put in any group, anything ever on the web, any email that you sent out with an article, with a link, any of that stuff will be all people who, let's just call it, the web, not just your website. All these people come in. Some of them become leads, right? And then some of those leads convert over to customers. Okay, when people visit your website to sign up and they want to be a candidate because that's how they found you, or they found your name there and they call you and they give you a job, or it's great. It does happen. You should keep your websites on there. And again, people might have liked the article that you posted on a LinkedIn group and they're going to call you and want to give you a search assignment or register with you. That's wonderful. But what happens to the rest of these visitors? Well, again, as we talked about, only those who actually contact you or you can easily track are the ones that become leads, and all of these other people disappear. With the opt-in list, of course, we can capture all these people, and we can make just about all of them leads. You then can convert some to customers. What you're going to see is you're still going to do all of the marketing that you ever did. You're still going to recruit. You're still going to make your phone calls. But now, ideally, when you talk to these people, some of the calls are warm. You'll find a decent majority of these calls will be warm. You will be somebody as opposed to just being a cold player, especially if you do this for a year or so. There's also great things you can do that we're going to talk about in terms of what you can track using this technology. All right, so when we send out our email blasts, we're doing it all wrong in our industry. We'll show you the right way to do it and how you can implement it very inexpensively. Okay? So and again, it just comes back to what we talked about is follow-up, follow-up, follow-up. It's key. You need 5 you'll read, you need 7 hits, whatever the number you believe in, you need some level of regular follow-up to finally convert someone to a recruit or a sale. But most people stop after that. Internet marketing allows you to automate a decent amount of it, automate touch points throughout the year. You're still going to call, you'll still visit. But this can help so you reach those 5 or 7 quicker, so that there's a feeling that there's a deeper relationship than there ever possibly could be over the phone. You're also going to reel in some of these leads and things that you never made a phone call to before that will convert to clients into candidates. So again, that's the big concept there. But again, just bear in mind, as I said, that people don't come back. So if you go to this opt-in term, you look it up on Google, the number keeps going up. You know, this is a month ago, it's probably over 6 million, okay? I profess what's called the double opt-in. I don't want to get too technical. It simply means someone gives you their email address, and then you go back, they get a link, and then they have to actually confirm that they gave you the email link before they'll actually start getting your newsletter and your list. Okay? So, this, for those of you, now I have it set up that anytime anyone buys anything or registers, they automatically go to my sequential mail and my list manager. So most people had to come here. Has anyone been on this site? Okay, www.dynamicsale.com. This is my main page. My main page is my landing page. It's not a flash graphic of trainers. It's none of those things. It's a landing page. All right, I got a video there which we'll talk about. It actually looks normal when I don't take a screenshot. And I just asked, here's your name, email, your job title, and this is what you'll get if you sign up for free. It's right there. I got plenty of copy below. Most people don't read it. They do it. And this is what you need to sign up. I did this on my own. GoDaddy. Piece of cake. I'll give you a ton of links and stuff that I have here. If it's not in the handout, I'll make sure that I get it emailed out to you. It's got everything you need from everything we're going to talk about here today. That's your basic opt-in page. And again, it's critical that you all set one up. Again, in your case, I'm going to want to set up 2, a client side and a candidate side. And if you're intimidated, just start with 1 until you get the groove of it. Now, these are created by your mailing list company, which you all need to use. Who here uses a separate mailing company for your email blast to your clients? Separate. I don't mean your front office system. I don't mean your normal email. Separate company?
Whatever we use, when we get
Okay.
Chip now.
Separate, well, yeah, it's Agilon, right? I say how out. Right, most don't, and you send out your blast through your Outlook or through your Bullhorn or through whatever, insert your front office system here. But you don't want to do it. You want to set up and have these set up by a mailing company. Let me just tell you this. You have no idea how advanced all of this stuff is and how ignorant most people are in most fields, let alone the recruiting field. You can get blacklisted from your email in a heartbeat without even knowing about it. When you send out a newsletter to 3,000 contact emails that you have in your database, and you do it through your own servers or whatever, and they didn't opt in and all the spam laws that they have now, they need someone on their system to call it spam twice, or even once in some cases, where they'll stop all communication coming from your name for 24 hours. Some have a 48 hours. Sometimes, this happens, I guarantee it's happened to most of you, you just don't know it. And they'll open it back up until someone else complains, and you guys aren't spammers sending millions of Nigerian, millionaire certificates and lottery winnings, but you're sending out stuff that your clients are never getting. It's so easy to get blacklisted. I assure you, there's blacklist sites. You're going to find out that your domain is blacklisted on a whole bunch of sites. Again, the more you do it, the easier it is to get blacklisted big time. So don't mess with it. These companies have very high delivery rates that work with the double opt-in, and they have the relationships with all the companies. But here's the beauty of it. Who here uses sequential campaigns for their marketing strategy online? Sequential. You're doing sequential? So you're one in your sequence. That's not going to count. I believe the mathematical definition of sequence is a pattern of 2 or more.
Are you talking about like constant contact using
campaign?
Well, that really,
How many messages in sequence?
we've only sent out 3 newsletters.
But you send them out to everyone on your list. Right, that's a blast or a broadcast, which I want to distinguish. What do you do with your people? You just capture them and you use them for a blast, right?
We do 1 a week, like a relevant topic, chemistry, whatever is, 60% of the match, and we send that out every week, but it goes throughout.
So it goes to everyone.
It goes to everyone.
All right, so in Steve's case, he'll send out chemistry.
Can you then explain sequential?
Exactly.
It's not just 3 in a row.
No.
Right? It's
Most recruiting firms that do the mailings do what's called a broadcast or a blast. Any frequency you want. You can do a broadcast twice a day, twice a week, 3 times a month. That's a broadcast. It means you take either your full database or a subset of your database and you send them all a specific message, regardless of when they joined your list. So I'm going to send out a message. Steve, you said you send out something about chemistry. So chemistry is 90% of it. Now, how often do you send out that chemistry one?
We do a different topic, like every
Right, if you do a different topic, because why on earth would you send out a blast on chemistry and 3 weeks from now send another one out on chemistry without them saying, what are you doing, clown? You just told me about chemistry, right? But what about that poor guy that signed up to your list the day after your chemistry blast went out? That guy's or gal's never going to hear about the chemistry, or maybe not for a year or 2, right? What if that was just your best piece of material? And you probably sent out your best stuff early on, right? So you want to have a plan. So get most of what you do when you're emailing and your messages are broadcast. Boom, you can hit a subgroup too. All hiring managers with X, all line people, all people that we worked with, all people in Florida. I did a broadcast message the other day. Hey, I'm in the hotel. I'm in Florida. I just picked all the Florida people. That's a broadcast though. Went to everyone in Florida. I could have said anyone in Florida who didn't open up an email, which I'll get into. But boom, send it. Sequential is the key of what I want you to start thinking about. And it's no more strategic than having a marketing plan that's based on sequence. Does anyone here have a marketing strategy for new business where every phone call you make to the client is the same one? So first phone call, hi, let me tell you about why I'm calling. Great firm, here's what I do, and we're wonderful. You have any openings? Super, I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Hi, this is Neil Livich. You and I never spoke before, but we have nothing great. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Hi, we've never spoke before, but you and I, right, no one does that. So when you get a job order, do you then call them back 2 weeks later and say, hi, let me introduce myself. I'm a recruiter and I want to see if you had any needs. No, we don't do that. Okay, we have a relationship with them now. Now we're going to call back and provide value. Right? Hey, let me just say, thanks so much for giving me the job order. You mentioned hiring was always hard. I just want to make sure you know about this brochure that we have on hiring that might help. Right? Another visit might be a skill marketing call. Another visit or a contact might be a birthday card, or it might be some articles you want to send out, some expertise, a white paper. Again, forget about the email marketing. Whatever calls you make and visits, they're planned, aren't they? I'm going to start off and try to get a bond, try to begin the basis of a relationship, try to get some information, try to find out how I could solve a problem or value, try to attack that maybe with a strategic skill marketing call and gathering more information, but try to get a visit out of that. On the visit, we're not just going to cover the things we just covered on our first phone call. We're going to try to get a little deeper. We're going to try to talk a little bit more socially, find out what they're interested in, connect. On the fourth time, we're going to try to see if we can do a lunch or a meal or something where we really get to connect and talk 90% pleasure, 10% business. On another time, I'm going to try to give them a proposition or proposal about how we might be able to save them some money with it, right? Anyone sell anything, they know that that's how they do it. Sequential. Advertising campaigns. You think it's an accident how something shows up in the print media, how something shows up on the radio, and when something shows up on the TV? And then the flyer and the brochure, and then the promotion you see in the street? Do you think that's planned? First we're going to do this, then they're going to get this, then they're going to hear it here, and then we're going to hit them with this. That's how marketing works. Why we just broadcast is beyond me. But broadcast we do. So sequential takes that concept, and you can do both, and you should do both. But it's to say, what is the message I want to give my followers, my subscribers, my leads as they're called in the internet world, how do we want them to be introduced to Neil? In my case, Neil the trainer. In your case, as someone that can help find them a job or be a career resource for them, or someone that can help them fill positions. How do we want them to learn about me? Do I want to hit them over the head with advertising and buy up front? Concept, again, as I mentioned early on, is providing what? What do you constantly have to provide? Value. Value, value, value. So in the beginning, you want a sequential campaign that is all value. All. Great stuff. And you want to send them your best stuff that you got up front. And we don't want to worry if they miss the cutoff on the blast. We want to know that on day one, anytime anyone signs up for Neil, they're going to get a welcome story and an ebook that's going to explain, hey, what my first lesson is, and thanks so much. And 3 days later, they're going to get some great free videos. And a week after that, they're going to get another video, etc. Doesn't matter. I'm going to give them the best stuff up front, and most people will look at your first 3 or 4 more than they will your later ones. And someone who joins my list today will go through the same sequence as someone who joined my list a year ago. Why shouldn't they? Now, there's room for broadcasts for state of the economy updates, industry trends and alerts, and that goes out to everyone. But what's your plan? When do I want to sell? When do I want to show them a little commercial? When do I want to add the video about me and my firm at the bottom? When do I want to do video? When do I want to do a book? And you'll do video because everyone has the capability now of doing it ridiculously easily. What do I want that to look like for the candidates and for the clients? Adam, back to your point. Think about how those sequential messages are going to be very different for a client list than for a candidate list. Okay, great, thanks so much for coming here. By the way, if you haven't registered with our firm yet, give us a call. Let's see if it makes sense to talk. Here's a great couple of articles and resources in the job interview thing. And again, boy, all this, live it up. 12 great sites you need to check out. All you have to do is to research for this stuff once, and every person forever, a year from now or 2 years from now or 3 years from now, is going to get that great email message and thanks. Hey, by the way, here's my V card. Hold on to it. Don't ever be a stranger. If I can help you, here's my mobile number. Okay, whatever it is. And here, I'm going to pitch referral bonuses on my 3rd message. On the 8th message, and again, you're going to slow the frequency out over time. So start reaching them every month, then every quarter. And you decide what that is. So you want to hit your new people a decent amount in the beginning and then slow it down so they don't get irritated and unsubscribe, but they've seen enough value from you that they're going to put up with your selling and your promoting, and you're always going to provide them value your entire time. Does that make sense, the concept of the sequential?
I feel like I was played by you.
But you're not.
No, I know.
But you're not playing. I get what you're saying. And she said,
Because
well,
we were
she's playing
total
by me.
strangers and we're like best friends now. Just
Well, we're going to talk about your story and a lot of other stories because it's the beauty of the power of the web. It's not playing. You do get to build relationships. We're real people. We had a real conversation yesterday, and we're meeting live now. And we wouldn't have done it without my landing page and some of the other things we'll talk about that are easy to do that you all just need to do. That, again, these aren't Neil-isms or follow what I did. I mean, this is what people are doing and how they're using the web. No? All right, so I think we already talked about this one. Again, I'll send you out all the links. If, Tim, you just want to email me to remind me to send out the links, that'll be awesome. Just all the links from this session. I got some in here, but I'll give you others. I use this company, Aweber. They're awesome. You could start with a plan through them. I am an affiliate, so if you use this link and you sign up, I will get paid several dollars a month. So if you sign up, hey, use it. It's great. It's not why I use them after researching a ton. There's GetResponse, there's Constant Contact, and Infusionsoft is awesome but really complicated. All right, so start easy. I would go right with Aweber. Problem with Aweber, and really with a lot of these, is they require double opt-in. So those who have email lists of 10,000, if you just import them in, they won't let you say it's just a list where they didn't give you permission. So you have to log in. said they did, then they still get a confirmation link, and they still have to click on it. So it's going to reduce your list. But for those of you starting, again, it's the best way to go. The screenshot of the form that I showed you is actually created by Aweber. So this, don't worry about it. This is an example of what a sequential system will look like. Okay, now if you take a look, I mean, this is my Dynamic Sale 8-week course. It used to be a 13-week course. I'll have all my subscribers that I have. I fill out the web forms right here. It gives you the code. They walk you through how to do it. They've got videos. I knew nothing about web programming. It's so easy to do now, it's a joke. If you work in a bigger company, I'm sure your IT guy could hook you up. If you sign up for your own domain or a subdomain using GoDaddy or anyone for $9.99, they'll show you how to do it. They literally tell you right here, copy this and go to your website, open up this page and paste it here, and that's how your name shows up. It goes from there into Aweber, and these are my sequential messages. So these are the 14, there's 17 or so in total. These are the 14 that show up. All right, the first message has 0 interval, and it says, hey, thanks for registering. It's a cute little message to show I'm fun, I'm a little wacky, live it up. Okay, the next one is also, comes later that day, no delay. Lesson 1, let the games begin. It's an ebook, right? You'll all see it if you signed up for it. That's how it works. 3 days after that, here's the free bonus videos I told you about. 5 days after that, lesson 2, how to get your candidates to the front of the line. I have pitches in there. It's 90% content, 10% sales. I have pitches in there about my boot camps. I talk about my success. You guys can all do the same. You can do it implied. Here's why my clients love me. You know, and here's what I'm going to share with you, or you can get them to love you too. Here's why I became a top, known recruiter. And I'm going to give you the secrets in this book, that whatever it is, I mean, it's going to be good stuff. So you can do an implied commercial. You're building your expertise, and again, you're providing this great value there. Okay, here's lesson 3, outsourcing. And you notice here, it goes up to, 5 days later. And then each of the big lessons come 8 days apart. All right, and I've changed some of these now. This is a little different than the one I have. But that's what everyone gets. Then I know when they're done here and they're done with lesson 16, that all they're going to get from me are email blasts, broadcasts, which is fine. You can have this go as long as you want. I would for what you're doing. But you have to set up something like this. It's fun to do. It'll take you not even a weekend to come up with your entire client and candidate plan. Why not? This stuff works for you behind the scenes. I use this for all my pitching. I use all my broadcasts for pitching. We'll tell some stories in this room of people that are in this room for the boot camp from it. You make money off of it. You'll get clients, you'll get candidates. But again, the great stuff is, when I'm now making calls that I need to, it's not as easy as just sitting back and let the computer do it. But when I do, I'm met with some nice things. I mean, Ann, what was our? You sound like I was your best friend when I called you yesterday. First time we ever
I
talked.
had so many emails from you, I felt like you were my best friend.
Oh, so you know, I mean, it was really, I don't want, and I mentioned this in one of the earlier emails, there'll be a little degree of like they're feeling like they're talking to a DJ or someone. If you do video and you do a little extra, it's kind of cool, but at least I had a personality that I was more real than any trainer calling Ann. Ann's a board member for the FSA. And, I was working with them about, they're coming out here to assess some of the training. But, long story short, we felt like we knew each other, right? And again, more she felt like she knew me, and we got to know each other through it, and that's how relationships are born. But you want to set this up, have fun, decide what it's going to be, make it your own, video book, and you'll integrate it. And I talk about this over the next kind of days. Yes?
Did you use your database to directly import your contacts, or did you have to?
They don't let you. But I use my database to ask everyone to sign up. I didn't say sign up for my newsletter so I can email you and eventually convert you to some sort of sale. But I said, here, I'm offering this great free training. Please sign up. Here's what you get. 8 ebooks and whatever. And I mean, I originally started with 13, but it was nuts. It was way too much. I don't need to go anywhere near that. Right, so please tell your friends about it.
Constant contact, you can import, I think, from your Outlook, but not but
You can't do it on either. You just have to lie and tell them why you're doing it. But they mostly want double opt-in. But don't let that scare you. Start there and try to get your clients. Send the big blast out a couple of times. You're doing it anyway. Look, sign up for here. And by the way, if you never want to get these things, then you can ultimately opt out instead of keep on hearing from me on these blasts.
are you saying that they have to accept it?
Yes, they have to agree to want to get this. There's plenty that don't. There's MailChimp, there's Constant Contact. Play with all of them and I'll give you the links on them. It depends on how much you want to utilize what you have or how much you want to, you could either start from scratch or again, send out links to all your existing email addresses. Every candidate you get, any candidate, think about it, any candidate that you ever talk to, that ever walks in your door, that ever registers, goes in your database, whose name you see that you have any correspondence with on any of the job boards or LinkedIn or any of the social media, you should all be asking them to what? Opt in. Not register, but opt in. All of them, all the time. Everything you do, you drive them to do that. Everything you do, do it. And here's the great thing. Here's what you're going to get. Do me a favor, blah, 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 great talking to you. And that should be, it's part of, you'll see it everywhere in my stuff. It's part of my email signature. It's all over the stuff in LinkedIn. It's all of my Twitter stuff. Everything I ever do, it's all about sign up, opt in, get my free training.
I give you two advice by asking if you think Twitter is I just have never got anything out of Twitter.
Let's ask that at the end. Do I think Twitter is a waste of time? I think there's so much work to be done on LinkedIn that so many people are not using that's far more valuable, but I would never have Jill here if it wasn't for me being on Twitter, and we'll share some of those stories, okay? So, it's yeah.
Spam comments?
Spam is just a way to see, they rate how much it's likely to get filtered by a spam filter. And they give all the text for it. So this is everything. You get to test it. They do all the HTML. They make it beautiful, pretty. But again, you need to do this, right? Doesn't it just sound good for any candidate I have or any client that this is how they're going to be exposed to my firm or to me? And you can do it over the course of a year. You should never let it end, and frankly, in the recruiting business. You should constantly be adding to it, even if the frequency when they're on message 85 is once every month or once every 6 weeks. Eric, you were saying?
What do they charge you for something like this?
The cheapest plan there, I think, is $9.99 a month, $12.99 a month.
Kidding.
Yeah, no, not kidding. All this stuff is dirt cheap. With my list now, I'm not even $30 a month for all this being done.
Constant Contact is like 60 days, it's free. So you
It's ridiculous. That's not even talk money. This stuff is nothing.
And it'll probably keep dropping. It's like something.
They get expensive if you start getting 10,000 names and stuff. That could be $100, $150 a month. But they're going to be great names and well worth it, and they're going to do what you can't do on your own. So I don't want to. I can't say that enough. So I'll come back to this slide. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You think you're going to get the more expensive? You pop one extra deal in a year.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
I'll forget it. It's not a money issue. These things, you must use them. Anyone have questions on why they should or shouldn't? Does it just make crystal clear sense? Right? Okay, so the whole purpose anyway of anything that you do, and when you look at your campaign, what is selling and what is marketing anyway? Any sales call you make, any presentation, any marketing is all about, being the expert, having credibility, being able to get trust in the relationship. It's about providing value, solving solutions, providing value, and providing value. And this is such a great way to be able to do that to everyone all the time. So it just fits in so well to what we're doing. So we talked about why most newsletters and email campaigns don't work, but they don't work for the reason we talked about, because you should be giving your great stuff all the time, and why constantly have to recreate a new one just because you don't want to send the same stuff to people that have heard it for 4 months. Sequential solves all that. Okay? It also, you get to have a plan where it makes sense. I alternate a book, a video, and sometimes I'll throw in an audio. Book and a video, and a book and an article, and a book and a video, and some links, or whatever the case is. I want to make sure all across people get exposed to me different ways, which is a key part of what you need to do with the web. They do need to see you on video. So easy to do. Again, I didn't do any of this stuff before. I was always a techie, and I love gadgets, but this stuff, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, you don't need me to show you how to do it. It's just so easy. But again, the ebooks and everything is easy in how you do it. All right, so they also don't work because most newsletters, they all for a long time were so self-serving. Most newsletters, they were 90% about us and 10% value. Here's why you should use us. Let me show you 3 testimonials. Here's a page of available candidates for you. And by the way, on page 4, here's a little article about why it helps to be green. Okay, and some people got better. I do see a lot more value stuff, but it's still, here's our availability. So here's what's cooking and shaking in our end of town. Here's the latest. Hey, by the way, here's the state of the economy. So you want to make it, again, especially in the first 3 or 4, 90% value, 10% selling. And again, you could add on. After a month, you can go 50-50. 50-50 value to commercial. And now me, I still make sure I always give a good nugget every month or so to my people so they won't want to unsubscribe. But people have been on my list a long time. No, I email them a lot. I do. Because I'm trying to make a living doing this, but I get very low unsubscribes. Some people get fed up, screw them. Very few, very few. You're always going to have those type of people. If they don't want to read it, they'll delete it. You know what, to get good stuff, you know what, this guy's been working his tail off for me for nothing. I haven't bought anything. I'll let him send me whatever, cool. They don't mind. That's all strategy behind it. And again, you get to sell, you still make your presentation, but it's just so brilliant and so easy to do. And I really want you all to embrace this for next week. This right here, these 2 bullets right here are at the cornerstone of any internet marketing training you will ever see, go to, webinar, boot camps. It's all about your list. Using the web for commerce. It's all about the list. Do you understand what I'm saying? This isn't a nihilism. If you want to use the web, use it for all the things that you do get from it. But it is all about the list. And it's all about the relationship with the list. Your relationship with the list. Your personality, how you come across, the mood, the tone, the value you're giving, what they see. What is your relationship? This is a guy, this is a gal, this is a company who is really giving me good stuff on a regular basis. Great news is jump on this. Your competitors aren't doing this. Not even the big guys have a plan like this. They don't. Do it. Build a relationship with them. Because, I mean, I can't tell you. I go to places. I mean, I was surprised here. Ann came. She brought over JP, who she works with. And JP's like, oh, yeah, I've known you. I've been on your list for months, right, you said? So she's like, look, I want you to come over and check out this boot camp with this guy, Neil Levitz. Oh, Neil Levitz? I know Neil. I signed up for his stuff. I'm like, where'd you find me? You found me on Google, doing a search somewhere, back to the pay-per-click. All of this stuff works, and it's all about the relationship. Yes?
Okay, the relationship, you were using your personality, you expand upon that just a little bit. You say the relationship.
It's all about, do you provide them value? Do they have a reason to stick around? Are you establishing a credibility and expertise with them? Are you making yourself more real? Are you warming up your future calls? Are you becoming something different than the person that's not doing this, that's going to make the same cold call into the FSA to try to get on their list of rosters or to whomever? It's your relationship with it. It's what you do with it. You can't just capture the names and constantly advertise or hit to them. You'll have no relationship with them. You can't just blast them something irrespective of when they came in. Like, you want to have a plan of what your urban messages do and tell them. And I'm going to give them my pitch about me and why they should refer me for whatever. So it's all about that.
Okay, but for us, here's the question. When you talk about a landing page, like one for candidates, one for clients, this, and now we're doing this, right? Are we distinguishing between the two?
I would, but I'd say start simple and start with one side of it, and then when you feel good with how it works, and start the other. I don't want to make this overwhelming. You need to have 2 in the recruiting business.
Well, so then what?
Have to.
Well, you know, again, we all know, right? Candidates applying one day.
Not always, right? And then
They go between the both.
It depends on their level, right? That's great, but it depends on their level, and it's great. They'll overlap. You'll want to let them know if they're a hiring manager, join both lists. And your system, we'll be able to know when you do broadcasts or whatever, only send this one out to the list once, ignore duplicates. It does, AWeber does that. So you can have them do both, but I'm saying, but you want, the message to your clients is about your credibility to source and to find people for them, of why you're worth, giving the money to, why you want to refer other people when they have needs, why I'm the expert that you need to come to. Okay? Your candidates is, look, tools and value of getting a job in this market, how you can better your career. If you give both to each, you run the serious risk of tuning out a bunch of people that could care less about that. All candidates are interested in career development, finding a job, whatever it is. All companies are interested in company-related stuff. You can absolutely have them cross and start simple. The more sophisticated you could hire someone that could run an API to your database and they could do it all automatically. But you could do it all manually here for now. You don't have to sweat it. Allow them the ability to opt in twice. Explain to them. But again, just like when you go on LinkedIn and you're going to recruit someone in a section and you're going to post an article, you're posting that for your first gear of recruiting, right? You don't then post something that's going to appeal to the hiring manager in that, right? I doubt it. Same deal. Okay, and all your relationship with them is all going to be about the candidate. And you're going to offer them different promos. And the services to them is free. And you're going to set them up to refer other candidates to you, maybe become an affiliate and things of that nature. Okay? All right, so there's a ton of things you can do, and here are some of them, right? And we've already thrown out the free reports and the free assessments. What I suggest is look at your website or look at the stuff that you offer someone in an interview now or when you go out to a client. Take them off of your website now so people can't just go there and download everything you have. That's what everyone does nowadays. That's what you do when you go somewhere. If you go to a content-rich site, what do? Boom, download, 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 save as, save as, save as, save as. Good day. Got what I needed. Stop it. There's no reason you should give anyone anything for free without them giving you their email address and name of which they can unsubscribe anytime they want if they feel they were taken advantage of. Here, you got it. Take it all off your website and put it in the sequential mail. Here's a great salary guide. And some of you have great stuff on there. You got 20 great kits and how to reference check, for clients. Get rid of it all. Make that part of your campaign. Okay? Yeah, they can find this stuff elsewhere. You get this, you're going to get my 13-week series, which is going to include whatever. Make it fun. Make it your own. I didn't read a book that told me to do an 8-week training, but that's what I wanted to do. There's a ton of things you could do, and it is too much. I don't even need to do that. I just think it gives me more liberties, the more free stuff, and the more value in the content I give, the more I can ask for some favors in return. That's all. It's a quid pro quo. So you all have this stuff. Use it. Okay, so we talked about the value and moving to 50-50. We talked about how you could sell your company, and that's fine, and how you want to use ebooks and videos and everything. Write these things in your voice. Make them you. Here's the great thing that they also learned. Corporate professional copywriting doesn't work in this sort of medium. People don't talk like that. Who talks like a brochure? Hey, Neil, how are you? How's your business? We're one of the fastest growing ecologically sophisticated companies on the East Coast based on no one does that. It looks good for a copy. It looks good for a brochure. Your newsletter shouldn't read like that. Your email shouldn't read like that. And it should be in your voice. My voice is very much my voice. I like to be fun. I like to be silly. That's great. That's me. If you're really serious and you have a dry sense of humor, then make it serious with a very dry sense of humor. If you're very sarcastic, then make it sarcastic. If you're nasty, if that's how you're going to be. No, I've seen plenty of bloggers and stuff that are downright nasty, but they're brilliant. And people are going to know, I'm a pain in the tuchus. Okay, that's a Jewish word for ass, right? So, we could bleep that out, right? All right, so make it in your voice. And again, if you do this with all time. Think about this. Any visit you go on, any call you make, always end the call with, hey, listen, by the way, not to take away from Tim's stuff, by the way, I'd love you to sign up for my client report. If you get this, it's a great white paper on this. I'll also give you great tips and links and whatever. You can unsubscribe at any time. Would you mind? I'll sign you up for it. You just have to click the confirm link. Now, you could sign them up. You go to the page, enter their name and email address. They'll get the email. All they have to do is click it. You'll be able to remind them. You'll see who didn't click on it. It's not confirmed. Hey, do me a favor, Steve. Next time you talk to them, just click on this or I could send it to you again. All right, everyone, all the time. Think about what you're going to have there in this net in this great way. And again, you're going to send them good stuff. That's the beauty of it. No longer are you going to sell all these things where you're really not making money on. You're going to give them really regular good stuff. So, this is my blog, which is different from my website. I use two blogs. This one is a free blog hosted by WordPress.com, and I pay the whopping price of $0 a month. Thank you very much. It's not as powerful as the other one that I have on my membership site, but it does the trick for $0 a month. And it's got everything in there, and I drive all of my articles and my books and my videos to my blog. That's what you want to do. That helps you create your brand, it helps create your personality, it helps create your expertise, it helps create a community with comments and feedback that people do, it helps to tie in any other element you want to do. Don't just bring them back to your empty web page. Everyone, please create a blog, even if you do nothing in it, but host your content. No one knows who this page is. Can you find it on the web? Sure. Great. Thanks for finding my client tip on how to reference check the best in this sort of economy. Please sign up for my newsletter, which gives you all these things and more. It's right here. All my things say that. There's my LinkedIn, there's my Twitter, here's my link to sign up for my free training. If you pay for a WordPress on your own site, it's free anyway. But if you get a hosted one, you get to have pop-ups and everything that come in, which is cool. If you're not techie, start free. If you're techie, go to GoDaddy, have them install WordPress. You'll be spending $10 a month. Live it up. You get to do a lot cooler things. Here's my cute little picture. There's some polls. I get people to join me from LinkedIn all over the place, whatever. I got a nice little graphic. You click on that, the book opens. Some people write comments, some don't. It's just everything you want to go there, and it's a great place to host it. Those of you who run a desk, you don't have to worry about your company doing it. There's nothing to this. I never had any idea how a blog worked. Went on, looked at one video, click here to add your thing. Oop, upload my PDF. My book is nothing but a Word document printed in PDF format, right? I mean, that's it. Nothing different than these handouts are. You just change it so it looks a little bit more like a book. Don't sweat it. Content, much more important. I originally built this with the intention that I was going to develop this really sophisticated website. This website costs, man, $9 a month. WordPress is $0. Now I'm $30 a month plus on Aweber. And I have all this great stuff. So again, it's really easy to do there. Okay, this was, you'll have it in your handout. It's an idea of what a sequential campaign should look like. I have been requested many times to come up with it for you. I might do it because maybe that's where the money is. Come up with it on your own of what excites you and what you think is great. And it's different depending upon your segment or your marketplace. Okay, again, this is the same page I showed you before. Now that we talked about it a little bit, right? So I went back to this page and that's just what it looks like. Okay? All right, RSS feeds. Now, this is something, Eric, that you brought up. Who here uses RSS feeds?
I don't know how to use it well.
You're the only person I've heard mention it. You guys who doesn't know who needs me to explain what an RSS feed is? Okay. RSS feeds are those cute orange squiggies that you always see all over the place on websites. It's an orange circle, and it says RSS. You'll see them there. They're all over blogs, and you'll see them everywhere. What that is, and I'm going to explain it to you in a couple ways, and why I'm telling you in this session, and why you need to do it. I got it. as someone who's going to send out all this great content, you don't want to have a full-time job where you can have a researcher help you with it. You don't want to be spending hours and hours finding all these great, content. When you're tweeting, when you're on LinkedIn, you don't want to spend hours and weeks trying to find the great things to tweet on. So what it does is, the content is, let's say you have 10 great sources of websites that you go to, right? Well, the way most of you do it is you'll have to task, all right, let me go to recruiting blogs, let me go to Recruiter Earth, let me go to Yahoo Marketplace, let me go to all these places. And let me go there and let me see if they have anything new, and this becomes so ridiculously time-consuming. Well, basically what an RSS feed did is these sites and the people decided, let's just create this link. We then create a reader, Google Reader, My Yahoo. There's a ton of them out there. Pick your own that you like. I use My Yahoo. All right, and let's just take this link. We'll put it in what's called an RSS feed. And then all of these 10 pages show up in one page on my internet browser. They're always there. So basically, the news comes to you. You don't have to constantly find it.
Is there any filter on it, or is it just... Oh.
You will put what sites you want on there. So here's what it looks like on there, all right, to give you an idea, all right? And I'm going to show you how to do it. But these are all of the different, and it keeps going down. I got about 25 of them. Anytime I see a good one, I add their RSS feed. This is the name of the website. Here are all their most recent posts. I could see by post what they had. I check out what's good. And that's the stuff that I send out to you guys. This is how I got the video that I had in here. And again, if I want something really juicy, I'll just do the research. The great news is we're in the information business and we don't do it. How many of your clients, you think, and candidates would also, oh yeah, I do RSS feeds all the time. Of course they don't. And it's so easy to do. I'll show you in 2 minutes. And you're going to have a wealth of unbelievable information that comes to you every minute, every day, whatever you want. And you're just going to take out a couple of minutes to find the juiciest, best stuff, and you're going to put that in your nice sequential campaign. You're going to save them hours and hours. And can they find any of this stuff on the web? Sure. You're going to have it come all nice and to them with your comments on it, and they're going to love you for it. So will you be taking advantage of them? No. Great stuff. You need to do it. So simple to do. And I have no idea why you don't want to go any further. So let's get into how to do it. All right, so look, here's how you do it. They all work differently. Google Reader is just a great one. I've always used My Yahoo to filter the content to me. Back on, Tim, when he's talking about he doesn't watch the news anymore, I really don't because it's depressing, but I love being in the know. When I was first taught to stay away from the news, it was great, but I felt ignorant, around my friends. Now, again, just like My Yahoo brings you your favorite, articles and stories you want, here's how you do it. So, right there, you click on, I created a page, I just called it RSS feeds. You add your content by clicking on that. Right there, and that's actually what the logo looks like. Add an RSS feed. This box then pops up. You type in the URL, which is what you'll get on all of those websites when you click on the orange thing that says RSS. It'll give you the feed URL, which is different. It'll be like feed.dynamicsale.com or whatever. You just enter that in there, you click add, I'm done, and voila. Okay? Voila, it shows, boom, and it shows up there as one of your feeds. So I don't want to spend too much time on it other than do it, because this will be the page you'll check out once a week or every day to see the top news or whatever it is, and it's going to help you when you come up with all this great material that you want, including here are some great sites that you need to be a part of. Okay?
The same as like copying and pasting the site from like YouTube?
No, you got to click on the RSS feed on it because there's a...
You get that address, and you can't highlight it, you have to type it in.
Oh, no, you can highlight. No, it gives it to you. As soon as you do it, it'll pop up. Yeah, you can highlight it just like that. It's different than what you see on YouTube.
One of these icons, I can't.
It's the orange. I'll show you. I think I'll have it on some other pages. It's the... You'll see it, go to like any blog or whatever, and you're going to see the orange squiggly, it says RSS on it. And you see it everywhere. It's not on it's on informational. It's on blogs, it's on things that provide video sites. Anything that has content that's updated, right, and changed regularly. Okay, so that's critical to do. Now, I talked about integrating all this with social networking. And think about it. That was my, point before. That's my point with everything that we talk about. When we get into LinkedIn, we're going to talk about it. Everything that you do, you want to do what you're doing, but you want to drive them to your blog. So again, any email that you send out, any newsletter you send out to candidates, to clients, by the way, sign up for this, it's great. By the way, sign up for this, it's great. Anything that you do on LinkedIn, it's awesome, but sign up for this. Any post you reply to be an expertise on a candidate group, by the way, sign up for this. Anything on a client, by the way, sign up for this. Anything people see, it's sign up for this, sign up for that. That's what you want to do. This social networking thing is could be a big time waster. It can be fun. It could be a nice break. There's big issues with it. There's a lot of great things out there, and you need to be part of it. But again, everything you do there, if anytime anyone comes across you, you are driving them to opt into your page, and they're now in your world where you're going to send them blasts. They're on your list, and you're going to send them a sequential campaign with all this value that you're giving them. That's the game of integrating it all. And they all tie together, and that's really the key. Okay, so these are just some examples of where it should be. But all over the place on LinkedIn, all over the place on Twitter. And I'll show you some screenshots of what that looks like. Okay, this was taken not too long ago. It's changed a little bit. But here is my profile on LinkedIn, okay? This is my headline. Industry exec trainer, get 8-week free recruiting training. That's right there. Anytime anyone sees me, it tells me a quick commercial about what I do, what I'm great, what my story is, and boom, sign up for my free training. Right here, all of my updates that I have are all to drive people to my blog or whatever the case is. If I talk about, hey, excited to announce a new boot camp. We're down in Florida for the boot camp. Click here to check it out. They'll go to that page, but what do you think happens when they go to that page? They get a pop-up asking them, please make sure you sign up for my free newsletter. In that, you're going to get 8 free weeks of free training. All right, so it all goes there. All right, and then down here, now this has changed. I changed this a couple of months ago. I'll have my, now that they have Twitter anyway, so I got rid of Twitter because it's down there. It'll have my free training, it says, right down below there. It'll have my blog right below there, and it has my shopping site, training products. Right? You'll see it if you're connected to me. So if you just want it all to integrate, and it's not just here, as I mentioned. This is actually my group that I host. Any owners or managers should join. It's an excellent group. But this always shows up because this is my picture, which is a nice close-up. All right, and there is my free course. Here's my article, which turns out that this actually is a blog article that I put out. And I use these blogs for my broadcasts when I want to spice up some of the emails and I want to drive people to the blog. The great news about the blog is they're all search engine friendly. So that maybe, I don't know how you found me in Google. Was it an ad you were saying, JP? Was it in an ad or it brought you to my blog or something? Or?
I Googled staffing training. Right up your name. I saw right up your name.
As an advertisement, as a paid ad, or as like a link to something I had posted somewhere?
A link.
Because when you do this, these things will be Googled everywhere on whatever. Much more than, I don't have to worry about SEO or any of that stuff. It just, when you do a WordPress or any of these big things, and it's free. So people could come here. And again, so now this is, again, LinkedIn. So this is a blog article I have. Here's how you can read more about it. And you can make your comments with it. And it all goes there. My article might not be as blatant as that. It might just be a nice article that's of value. And then people want to check on me and see what I have there. And again, it's integrated there. Here's Twitter. Okay, this brings them to my website and blog on an article. Everything I have has my landing page on it, right? All about the landing page. And all the tweets and stuff that I do, all about it. So they get an auto response when they sign up. Hey, thanks for following me. Make sure you get my great free training. It's all what it's about, right? And we'll do the other stuff later. Right, so I think I've beaten this to death. Everything you do is to drive them. And we talked about making a community. We talked about using a little bit of everything.
Just a quick question on Twitter. Just started using it by accident because of LinkedIn, right? But what I found for some of my immediately who started following me was people that I didn't
Yeah.
What's your opinion? Leave them there, block them, you know?
I mean, it depends what you're posting.
Well, I wanted to use it to kind of like tell the people who were affiliated with me, like, what was I working on? You know, kind of trying to get that.
Then block them if you're going to show job stuff like that, or you know, you can do that. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on Twitter because there's a gazillion tools. They have a different bunch of companies you can sign up for that'll actually make that you have to vet them, you have to approve them before they could follow you, whatever it is. I wouldn't sweat it too much. It'll take a ton of time with any of that stuff. It's just not worth it. Don't put anything specific on there where they can hurt you on it, and live it up. You know, you'll be connected to their people in a way as well, so I wouldn't worry about it. Okay? All right. So let me take a second before I get into this and listen about the power of how this works, okay? So I decided, I'll be honest with you, my first entree into this business, I said, heck, I'm an ex-Fortune 500 executive. I mean, I'll just make an immediate big splash. All right, so I reached all my LinkedIn contacts, which I don't know, was not a lot. I mean, maybe it was 60 or so people, but anyone that I knew, and so wonderful. I got like 100 signups by all my friends and people who knew me for my free training. A friend told me I had to do this. He sent me all the webinar stuff. I just took a bunch of courses and stuff, and so I knew I had to do it, but I had nothing. And when we get into LinkedIn, you'll see, I got like almost 1,500 contacts now, but I started at 60 only 8 months ago, and they're good quality contacts. This has brought a lot of business if you integrate it. Now, the stores we were talking about, I mean, we can go around the room. Jill got this because when you look at this, how do I integrate this into everything? We talk about ways that you want to build your list. So this was a big thing. And my consultant came in and he said, what you need to do is find out people that address your target audience. And you need to partner with them. Offer them something, do a webinar with them, give them something, get them to email out to their list. Whatever it is, you do something in exchange for them and get your name out there so more and more people sign up. Neil, it's all about the list. It's all about the list. It's all about the list. So I started this with all of the, national NAPs and ASA and the top chapters.